keep having all these problems. How we gonna solve them? Every day it's the same thing. All these unsolved issues, I guess it's official. Here we go again, the same old thing. And I'm tired of arguing and lying. So goodbye.
Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration that juice. It is June the 13th, 2024, and today the topic is curiosity. Happy Thursday. Yes, happy Thursday, everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful Wednesday. Mine was just fine. Yes, mine was good overall. Technically, it was a quote-unquote do-nothing day for me because I didn't have anything of significance to do per se. But it got filled with a few tasks. First, I started off my day with kind of like thinking about future stuff. I know. But, I want to get better about, some different things or whatever. So I was thinking about what that's going to look like, things like that. And so I started off with that. Then I ended up signing up for it was like a training for being a learning coach, because you guys know my son is going to be going to school, but we're doing it virtually, which is a virtual public school. So I didn't know if you guys know about that or if you need that information, but by all means, the one he's going to go to is called Connections Academy. So I was surprised to find that out, no tuition, all that type of stuff. So I'm like, hey, to God be the glory, this might be it. So we signed him up, and so he's in, and I'm going to be a learning coach, me and my husband or whatever. And so I took a learning coach like intro thing yesterday. They had like a training or whatever yesterday. So I did that. And then I ain't gonna lie, man, after I did it, I was like, ooh, am I making the right decision? Not because like I don't think I can do it or something. It's just that I started thinking about like stuff that I'm used to, right? Stuff that I'm used to seeing and doing, right? The way I grew up, right? First day of school pictures, stuff like that, to where it's like, yeah, granted, I can still do that type of stuff with him. And still keep up with, like, because I did it when he was born. I, kept up every month and took a photo of him every month when he was born, stuff like that. So I could do that, you know what I'm saying? And we could set up a school picture or something like that. So it's not that big of a deal. But on one hand, it's like, it's very different from what I experienced, you know what I mean? So it's like, ooh, Lord, am I making the right decision here? But I still feel good about it and everything like that. And actually, this kind of coincides with today's conversation. So that's what I'm telling y'all. So anyways, I'm asking questions about that, right? And so then, and outside of that, the only other thing of significance is that, one of my previous book clients reached out to me because she wants to do another book. She also wants to refer me to someone and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, keep on. Hey, I still help people. I help people however I can. So, so we had that conversation yesterday, and those were the main things of significance. I ordered pasta because I was like, I was gonna make it, but then I'm like, you know how you go in your kitchen and you be like, I want to do this, and then you like, I got pasta, no sauce. I got ham, no burger. Now, yeah, so it was kind of like that. I mean, I have all these random stuff in the kitchen and stuff, but you know how you want something, you know what I mean? You want what you want. And I think that's I don't know, maybe me and my family are just so used to that. So even like when I talk to my husband, I'm like, hey, what you got a taste for? He started thinking about things we don't got. And I was like, okay, well, I guess we're going to get burgers or whatever, But yes, I wanted some Alfredo. So I got some Alfredo for the family yesterday. Everybody was happy about it. And that's the main stuff of significance. But why am I sharing all this with you guys? Well, one, this idea of curiosity. I think you guys know that I've been telling you guys over the past few days that I've been very curious about what life is going to look like, man. Like, once NJ gets into the school and stuff like that, like, or once it gets started, because he's already in. So, like, and then curiosity about me and my work life, right? Like, I totally enjoy my job at the church. Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. But y'all know I've been on here back and forth about, do I need to add on to that? Do I need to, what I'm saying? Doing that whole thing. And then, on one hand, desiring to be full-time, but then on the other hand, saying, my son's about to be in school. I'm about to be a learning coach. I don't know. Like, so everything is so up in the air, right? And I've been telling you guys, on one hand, I've been totally at peace with that, right? I'm at peace with whatever the Lord wants to do. So that's the thing that's different compared to miracle years ago, right? But that doesn't stop the curiosity, right? And I think, well, ultimately, all I can say is, so I'm thinking about all these different type of things this morning. I found this like school community or whatever. So I was thinking about that, and then that's when NJ got up and stuff, and I'm having that conversation with him. And on one hand, I'm like, this seems like it's gonna be a great thing. Then I'm like, this seems like let's see what their work life is like and stuff like that. So they do got part-time positions at the place that I'm looking at, and I'm like, Lord, are you saying to go part-time? But anyway, but as I embark on this of curiosity, right? At some point I'm like, okay, kid, look, this is what we're about to do today. Today's Thursday, I gotta work, da 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 da. So, I need you to go take care of the dog. I'm gonna go do the juice. I had no juice, right? I had no topic, but I was like, you go do that. I'm gonna do the juice. We gonna go get ready. Then we gotta go. And I'm like, sitting there, I slightly was about to think like, well, what Lord, what you want to talk? But then I'm like, I'm just gonna do what He had me been doing. So I just got my juice journal, got my pen, started writing down the regular stuff. Wrote down like what the again, season 13, episode 37. I wrote down the date, and I'm like, okay, Lord, what's the topic? And the phrase, and this is gonna be, I'm not trying to poke fun, but my coworker came into mine, and so he's from Africa, right? And I guess he done been here a few years and stuff like that, but he still has the accent and stuff like that. And so when we met, I noticed he says the phrase when he's talking about, like, I guess putting stuff together and stuff like that, he says the phrase like how that's gonna look like, but how that's gonna look like. That's how he says it. And I mean, I think, obviously we would say it like, what is that going to look like? Things like that. So it always made me chuckle when he'd be like, how that going to look like? But anyway, so when I did my thing this morning, I wrote down the date and did all that. How that going to look like came into my mind. I'm like, oh Lord. And then I'm like, well, what does this mean? What does this mean? And so then I'm like, what is something going to look like? I'm trying to like figure out what the Lord was saying. And then the word curiosity came into my heart and mind. And I'm like, okay, and so I looked that up, and then obviously the verses was resonating with me this morning. So, I mean, is anybody else in a curious place, man? You don't know what things are going to look like. Look, you don't know how it's going to look like. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I totally have been there before, and I'm here in this place now. Again, the difference between before, right, during the cultivation period, is that I told you guys numerous times about that time when I was curious and I was confused, and I'm like, Lord, what is things gonna look like? Where's my husband? Can you let me in on anything? I told y'all, I'm being I was yelling up at I was in my apartment yelling at God, looking at the roof of my apartment, and being like, what is life going to look like? Can you let me in? Frustrated, right? But today, right, I'm sitting here telling you guys all these different things that I have no clue how it's going to look like. But I am not yelling at the Lord about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even worried about it. I'm curious. I'm still curious, but I'm still like, oh, well, I guess I'm talking about like yesterday, going with God's flow right now, just going with the flow, but going with God's flow. And so with that being said, looking into curiosity this morning, obviously I did come across the definition. And then when I went and plugged it in at openbible.info, I wrote down the verses that were standing out to me. So let's get into it, y'all. Curiosity. My little things, they're all like switched around because sometimes when I click it, it moves it and stuff. So I'm over here looking for, yeah, okay, openbible.info. There it is. Plug in curiosity, and the verses that were standing out to me, I would share it in one moment. Let's talk about this definition. It says, a strong desire to know or learn something. Yes, a strong desire to know or learn something. I think all of us are curious at one point or at some point in our lives, right? Whether we're curious about, just the things we're being taught, if we're just curious about life itself, maybe we're curious about, again, things of God. Maybe we're curious about just, again, what's going to happen today or tomorrow, whatever the case may be. Some people are so curious that they tap into all kinds of things, right? We know that there's mediums, right? We know that there's people that, I guess, read your tea leaves and your palm print and all kind of things out there because people are curious, especially about the future and things of that nature. Well, on one hand, I guess I'm here to say today, we ain't got to tap into all of that type of stuff. At the end of the day, I mean, if we're curious about the future, according to the Bible, it tells us what is to come, So that's one thing. But I get it that sometimes we can be very, very curious about our individual life and situation and things of that nature. And so here's some verses that were standing out to me when I plugged it in at openbible.info, that word curiosity. Um, First thing that stood out was Proverbs 25, 2-3. It says, "It is the glory of God to conceal things, but the glory of kings to search things out. As the heavens for height and the earth for depth, so the heart of kings is unsearchable." So I mean, if you're curious, it seems to me by reading this verse today that that's probably a good thing. Now, again, it's best for us to go to the source, right, to get the answer, and things of that nature. But there's nothing wrong with being curious, right? I say here all the time, there's nothing wrong with asking questions. Y'all know that I've been, using that app. I've been telling you guys about chatholybible.com, and I've been asking all kinds of questions. And it's so funny because I felt like yesterday it got a little jazzy with me because I was asking about dinosaurs, and then it was like, it's good to ask, it's good to be curious about dinosaurs and things of that nature, but it's more important to be curious about the will of God and and to know Him and stuff like that. And I said, I mean, but is not seeking about God and His creation also a way to get to know Him? Chatholybible.com, don't you come for me. But yeah, man, curiosity, man, like it's good to be curious, right? It's good to ask questions. It's good to not just go with whatever somebody else say to you and things of that nature. Again, I know a lot of people question the Bible and things like that, because of the same reason. It's like, I'm not just going to listen to what the pastor say. I'm not just going to listen to what you talking about on here, miracle X, Y, and Z. And hey, I implore you, you know what I mean? Don't just do that. You know what I'm saying? I can sit here and be reading stuff wrong to you, right? So go and read. That's why I'm sitting here sharing the verses and stuff like that. So you can go read it for yourself. You know what I mean? Go do your own study to show yourself approved, things of that nature. And I get it, man. Again, like this, it's like the what we see and experience versus the what we're taught versus the what the Bible say. Like there's all these things out here that it's just like, what's the truth, right? I'm sure I didn't ask that app over and over and over again. Like, is there any possible chance that the Bible's not true? Things of that nature. And obviously it gives this profound responses. I get it. We can all be curious and wonder and worry. But let's keep talking about some verses that hopefully will encourage us and inspire us here. So again, it's telling us that the glory of God is to conceal things, but the glory of kings to search them out. So go ahead, search it out, and look, be a king. Acts 1:7, it says, "He said to them, it is not for you to know times or seasons that the Father has fixed by His own authority." That might be Pope. That might be Pope for those of us that really, really want to know things. Again, like I said, back in the day, look, that was the main Lord, where's my husband? Lord, when he's coming? Lord, da da da. You giving me these visions and all this other type of stuff about life and stuff, but then I don't see it nowhere around me. Lord, let me know right now. That was your girl. And hey, I'm in this place of curiosity right now. Lord, what this about to look, how this gonna look like for my son to be doing virtual school. Lord, am I gonna be in this part-time job forever? Lord, you know what I mean? Like it's all these different type of questions and stuff. And look, my husband is probably asking all kind of questions right now too. Lord, I'm not doing a warehouse job. I want to get into software development. There's no things open up for me. How that's gonna look like. How is life gonna look? And it's just all these different things, right? Then we all can have these questions of curiosity. But again, I think it's important for us to remember who's in charge here, right? It's saying like some things is above our pay grades, basically, some things that ain't for us to know. We can sit here and be wondering all day, when is the rapture gonna happen? Like all these different type of stuff, right? And it's not our right. In fact, there was a verse I came across and I did not write it down, or maybe I should have, but it was talking about it was Jesus talking to, I think, one of the disciples. He was asking one of the disciples was asking him, like, what about this guy over here? Like what's gonna happen with this guy? And basically Jesus was like, man, I sure wrote this verse down. My bad, y'all. But basically Jesus was like, that ain't none of your business. Follow me. And that's real. Like a lot of times, again, we're trying to find out things or trying to be part of something that is not like our business. It's not like what we should be focused on. Maybe again, chatholybible.com was right when it's telling me, hey, Miracle, it's probably not the most important thing to sit here and be worried about dinosaurs and stuff like that. Like sometimes we make our curiosities or our whatever it is that we enjoy, we make it our life. Like we make that our personality and things of that nature when in our identity, right? When God has already made that and stuff like that. So again, just understanding that some things that are above our pay grade right now, there's some things that might not be as important and things of that nature. It might not be the time or the season for us to know certain things. And so, and that's okay. Can we be okay with that? I mean, that's a question that we have to ask ourselves. Or can we learn to be okay with that? I think we can learn to be okay with it, even if we are not. Proverbs 27:20 says, Sheol and Abaddon are never satisfied, and never satisfied are the eyes of man. Listen, man, I couldn't help but think about like the rich people of this world and how they keep, they got all the world and they just keep going and going and going because they don't they're not satisfied, right? Sex fiends, drugs, whatever the case may be, fill in the blank with whatever it is, outside of the Lord, right? We'll never be satisfied. We can get all the things. But like I said, hey, the cultivation period, all I wanted was the husband and the marriage, right? And then still, some ways I'm not satisfied, right? I have that now, and it's like, ooh, now I got to deal with, this individual, and there's all the things that I'm still not satisfied. And so we're like that. Humans, I guess, will never be satisfied according to this here. So does it not say does it help to have curiosity, because we established before being curious ain't nothing wrong with that, but some things, again, it's just like, is it worth it? Matter of fact, there was something yesterday that, again, it's just so ironic to me how everything always come together. But so there was this moment yesterday where without getting too deep into details, I would just say I knew something without knowing it officially, but I knew something, and yesterday I went ahead and got the confirmation of that thing. But did it help me to get the confirmation of the thing? Like, it didn't change anything. You know what I'm saying? Like I already knew that, whatever took place had took place. So I didn't necessarily need confirmation, but I just took the chance to go ahead and look into it, and then I got the confirmation. And nothing changed within. You know what I'm saying? There was nothing that was like, bye bye. And so, since this thing probably went out and y'all probably did not get the Bible verse today or the final, what I was getting ready to say, or what I said. Basically, I'll leave you guys with the Bible verse of today, and I'll let you guys go because I gotta go get ready. Okay. So the Bible verse of today is Mark 6:31 and 32. It says, "And he said unto them, Come ye yourselves apart into a desert place and rest a while, for there were many coming and going, and had no leisure so much as to eat. And they departed into a desert place by ship privately." So that is the Bible verse of today. The main juice today pretty much was just I guess reiterating that there's nothing wrong with being curious and things like that. Let's focus on being curious about the right things. Hey, let's be curious about God, be curious about his creation, be curious about the Bible, things of that nature. Matter of fact, in case you missed the go deeper section, like I was telling earlier here, basically there's no go deeper section, or there's no verses in the go deeper section today. It's just pretty much a reflective journaling prompt, and it's how can I use my curiosity to explore God's character and plans for me? So that's it with the juice, y'all. I'm gonna get ready to go because, like I said, I gotta go on to work and whatnot. But y'all have a wonderful Thursday, and I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow if the Lord's will. Bye.